Hi everybody, today we had a great game between Liren and Jan Nepomniachtchi, Russian Grandmaster against China's Grandmaster on FIDE Candidates Tournament 2012, playing in Madrid on yesterday. Liren had white pieces. He started with c4, e5, g3 from Jan Nepomniachtchi, and we have c6. Knight to f3, e4, attacking that knight, so knight bring to d4 with the idea to switch the knight to e3 square later into the game. d5 from Liren, c takes d5, queen takes d5, and we have a knight to c2 from Liren, and the opening used in this game is English opening. Next move is a knight to f6, knight to c3, attack the queen, so queen moves to e5, bishop to g2, knight to a6, and we had castle kingside, bishop to e7, also preparing castle kingside, knight to e3, castle kingside, and we have a3, rook to e8, and we have b4, knight to g3 from Jan, and bishop to b2, put the queen into the pin, so he removed the queen to h3 square and start to threatening mate. Of course, Ding is a strong player. He see that response with h4, and maybe better response in this position was simply to trade the knights, and after bishop take knight, bishop take e4, the position would be equal, but we didn't have any of that. We have h4 from Ding, bishop to f6, pinning that bishop, queen to c2, knight takes e3, d takes e3, and we have bishop to f5 with maybe later idea to open up the position which sacrifices in his bishop. Knight to a4 from Ding, and we had a trading of bishop. He recaptured with a knight, knight to c7, knight to c4, rook to e6, and we had a rook to d1, put control to that d file, knight to d5 from Jan Nepomniachtchi, and a rook to d4. Not the best choice. The best continuation was simply b5 after h6, b takes c6, b takes c6, rook to d4, and the game continue better for white. Instead of that, we have rook to d4, h6 from Jan. He didn't find the best move, which is g5, start to open the white king, but we didn't have that. We had h6, queen to d2, rook to e8, king to h2, bishop to g4 with the idea to capture that e2 square, knight to a5 from Liren, and rook to f6, put the pressure on that f2 pawn, and Ding responds with king to g1, protecting that pawn. We have g5, that critical move, and after this knight take b7, I think this move lost game for Ding. This move decreased the position about 5 according to engine. The fatal mistake by one of the strongest player and strongest player for winning this tournament. The critical defense in this position was simply to play b5, and after g takes h4, b takes c6, h takes g3, f takes g3, bishop must defend this knight, and rook takes e4, and the game should continue equally. Or in this position you also can capture with this b pawn, and after knight takes e6, rook takes knight, and queen must move to g6. So he didn't find this b5 move, he blundered with the knight takes b7, and Jan Nepomniachtchi starts his deadly attack on the h file. First g takes h4, knight to c7, and we had h3. After this h3 move, there are a lot of choices for ding, but are leading to lose. Example, if you remove this bishop to f1, the continuation is simply h2 check, king to h1, rook takes f2, queen to d1, knight takes e3, knight to d7, queen to f5, knight to f6 check, you capture this, and this is from here is forcing mate in 7. So the next is maybe play bishop takes that f1. So after queen takes h3, knight takes e4, rook to f5 with the idea to put the rook at h file and deliver the mate, knight to d6, rook to h5, and you must sacrifice your rook. After queen takes g4, you are clearly winning in this position, and there is nothing white can do to prevent the mating. Another defense is what Liren play, and that is rook takes e4, and we have h takes g2 with the immediately threat of mating, so he must respond on this threat. If you think the best defense is to capture, you are wrong, because that leads to mate in 4. After rook takes that f2, king takes f2, queen to h2 check, king go to f2, we had a check with the bishop on h3, and king to e1, and simply queen to g2 is the mate. So that's why in this position Dink play rook takes e4, e8, and he simply remove king to g7, and again is the same threat. He responds to f4, queen h1 check, and after queen go to f2, queen takes a1, king takes g2, bishop h3 check, and after this move he resigned the game. There is nothing he can do in this position. If he capture this bishop, the continuation is queen to h1 check, king to g2, hy check, king to g5, queen to h3, knight e6 check, you simply capture the rook, and after queen to d4 check, you simply defend with x6, and this is all computer move because this is forcing mate in 3. Rook takes f6, rook g8 capture, and if you capture with the king, the next move is simply queen g4 mate. Surely Ding see all of this variation that lead to mate, and he say, okay, I see I lost the game. So after this bishop to h3 check. He realized that nothing he can do and he resigned the game. Great victory about Jan Nepomniachtchi, strong Russian grandmaster who is leader in this tournament because this win. I will inform you about other games from this tournament, so we'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice day. See you.